Hey guys, all right, we're gonna do a check-in. The energy is like so intense. We went through another shift, so everything feels a lot different than it was a few days ago, even a few weeks ago. I know I keep talking about this and we keep going into shifts. What is coming up a lot, we're going through all kinds of different chakra healing right now, so it's going to kind of be a little bit up and down. Definitely going through a lot of fears, a lot of areas where you're insecure, a lot of the past is coming up too for you to change your perception and see things different. Hi Seiji. Am I going to get a kiss? Am I going to get a kiss ever on camera? No, I'm just getting sniffs. No kisses. Let me kiss. No, she didn't give me a kiss. She licked her lips, but she didn't give me a kiss. Biatch. She kisses my hand all the time. Anyway, okay, so the past stuff's coming up to help you see it clearly and different. So a lot of times, like, this is childhood trauma that's coming up, a lot of mother and father wounds, a lot of like abandonment wounds and relationship stuff, a lot of areas where you don't feel good enough, where you don't feel worthy, where you gave your power away or your power was taken from you, things like that. A lot of that's coming up right now. Kind of behaviors that have subconsciously like affected you in your relationships in your life, and they keep emphasizing the word fears to me. So a lot of like underlying fears of not being good enough, sabotaging, things like that. So it's like, ooh, hold on, I'm like trying to say it and then I'm getting other stuff as I'm talking, and the energy is really funky, so I'm not flowing as smooth as I normally am. Hold on, let me figure out. Okay, so there's something, and I know I've talked about this before, but they're wanting me to talk about it again. So if there's something that you desire, whether it's a relationship, a job, a business, whatever it is, a lot of times when you don't feel worthy or you don't feel enough, even at like, if you at a conscious level know where you're like, I know I deserve the best, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times there's deeper and underlying feelings that you don't actually feel that way. So it's like you can know that you're deserving, but not internally feel deserving. They're not always aligned. And so kind of where you're going, like you already have been releasing these feelings and all this old stuff, but you're kind of going back really to the past, like to the beginning of where this started. And it's like, with a lot of times it's with your parents. It's not always, but most of the time it's in your childhood in some capacity where you weren't able to do things right or good enough. Your parents didn't give you attention. They only gave you attention if you did something that they thought was like positive, or like if they needed something from you, and like, dump their emotions or feelings on you or responsibilities or things like that on you. Some of you, I'm getting also from spirit, is like where you had to take care of like your siblings and you had to do things that were not your responsibility at that age. You kind of learn to people please and take responsibility for other people. I'm going to do like a podcast on this about like our avoidant, anxious, codependency, attachment wounds. And I kind of want to do, like, I've been wanting to do this for a few weeks. I've just had all this energy stuff going on and I haven't really had the energy to be able to do it. But I think maybe we'll see how my energy is tomorrow. I might pop on and do that tomorrow and kind of focus on that and talk about it, because I think there's so much like misconception about it, and your attachment style shifts, like your attachment style can change. But let me go back to the point that I was getting at. So the point that I was getting at is when you have that deeper feeling of I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, you lack confidence, you lack self-esteem, you have these underlying traumas that are sitting there that you don't even realize, like where your inner child is kind of driving the show and your fears are kind of driving like your decision making and your choices. Like it pushes away or tries to find problems with things that are actually good for you, whether that's relationships, jobs, whatever it is, because there's a deeper fear that I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm gonna fuck this up, I'm not good enough, whatever it is. And you will sabotage and not even know you're sabotaging. So a lot of this is coming to the awareness, and you're kind of at the end of that cycle, so you can actually bring in what you want. You can't bring in what you want because you won't actually receive it and accept it. You will keep sabotaging and pushing it away, and you won't even know you're doing it. So a lot of that deep stuff is coming up. The childhood stuff's coming up, old relationships. A lot of stuff is coming up about manipulative people in your life, and I love it, 444, and like narcissistic behaviors and patterns with that. So oftentimes, we'll usually have like a parent who has not necessarily is a narcissist, but has narcissistic traits. I think a lot of people have narcissistic traits, but to me, I should do a whole ass fucking thing on this, like a whole podcast on this. Maybe we'll do half and half. We'll see. About narcissism, and their intention is to manipulate. They are fully conscious of their intention. Their intention is to cause harm, to manipulate, to control, to do those things, versus somebody who has traits of narcissism where they're really not, like, their trauma is the one that's kind of driving some of those traits and behaviors because they're trying to get their needs met. They're totally different things. There's a difference between a behavior and, characteristics versus somebody who literally has the intention to manipulate you and do things like that. A lot of people are starting to see that clearly. A lot of people are starting to also reflect on their past relationships. Some of you, it's family, like parents, siblings, things like that, and old relationships you were in where you dealt with these type of people to help you to see where you're giving your power up. So anytime, even bosses, they're saying, like, old jobs, old coworkers, neighbors, whatever it is, you're starting to see those, and you're starting to see where you learned to kind of give your power up to them, why you didn't stand up for yourself, why you didn't walk away, and things like that. But you're also seeing how some of the things that you want now, you struggle with actually doing because there's an underlying fear there, because there's underlying emotions and energy you didn't deal with in the past that relates to that. So for some of you, it might be like a fear of some type of consequence or some type of situation transpiring, a fear of something happening to you because of what was threatened to you in the past or what they actually did to you. And it's like preventing you from being able to stand in your full power now. So a lot of these things are kind of coming up for you to heal them. There's a lot of like emotional energy. There's a lot of physical energy. The sleep stuff is still funky. Your energy during the day is still funky. It kind of comes back and forth where it's like you might have a little bit of energy for something and then it goes away. You might have a little bit of energy and then it goes away. So only do what's in alignment for you. If you don't have the energy to do something, don't force it. Like, well, I have to get this done. If you had to get it done, you'd have the energy to do it. And if you are really in tune with yourself, you'll notice that you want to do something and spirit's like, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be resting because you're healing right now. And like, you will literally, like, they do it to me. I went to go bring the garbage out. I was like, oh my God, I have to fucking get this out of my house. And it was like, I got so dizzy. I'm not sick. It's energy shifts and stuff, but I got so fucking dizzy. And I literally like had no energy. It was awful. I was like, oh my God, this is so draining. You would think I literally walked 10 miles. I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to go sit on the couch. I'm going to go relax. I'm going to go lay down. So I try not to really force things too much when stuff like that happens. I was just like, I gotta get the fucking garbage out of my house. It's driving me fucking mental. A lot of that's coming up to like the organization, the cleanliness, your health, food choices, taking care of yourself, like self-care stuff is kind of coming back up. The conditioning around it is also coming back up, and the fears around that is also coming back up too. So there's a lot of like past stuff that is, and it feels a lot of times when it's coming up, it feels like current stuff that's coming up. Like it feels like things that are bothering you now, like a lot of triggers the last few days. I've also noticed, okay, like, I'm sure some of you guys have seen The Truman Show, the movie. If you haven't, you should definitely watch it. I watched it like when I was a kid. And then I watched, I think, like years and years ago. It's crazy. And I swear to God, sometimes I feel like I'm literally in the fucking Truman Show, like the movie type thing, where it's like they're doing stuff. So yesterday, I went to go to fucking get Starbucks and to go pick up food for myself. And like every single person cut me off. Like it was just like one after the other. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then like today I went and everybody's like cutting me off, but going slow as shit. And I was running late to go to the shop and everybody, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like literally trying to fucking trigger the shit out of me, aren't you? I'm like, you guys are really, but then in that moment I reflected, I'm like, I can't fucking, like, I was like, you guys are fucking annoying. And then I was just like, I'm not, like, what's the rush? Like, I'm late, whatever, who fucking cares? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, if you really want to come shop, you can fucking wait a few minutes. Like, it's not that big of a deal to be late. Like, there's no reason we need to constantly rush. But I noticed is this constant rush energy where we feel like we have to go and move fast and all this shit. And like, I've noticed how, like deep that is within some of us. Like we have to keep going and going and going. It's pretty crazy. Okay, damn, a lot of cards just flew up. I'm not taking all those. Those I am definitely taking though. That one flew and that one did too. Okay. And this deck like wanted to come out. Like, damn, they're just flying tonight. Ripeness came back out. I pulled that one for the September reading, actually. Okay, on the bottom, we got silence and isolation. Interesting. It feels like two different groups, actually. Normally, you know, the cards go together, and they might a little bit, but it feels like two different energies. So it could be, you could be in one or the other group, or it could be you just doing shifts, which I know for me, I'm like shifting like every fucking few minutes to every few hours. So yeah. With the silence card, it feels like this calm stillness. It feels like this intuitive energy, just this complete knowing. And then it feels like this other energy of just feeling like alone, purging, releasing. Some of you, it's like even like heartbreak energy where it's like something not working out the way you wanted to and things like that. A lot of people, hold on. Oh my God, we're doing another shift. Every time we've been doing the shifts lately, I've been getting so dizzy, but like a different type of dizzy than I've ever gotten before. It's almost like the room or like whatever is like spinning. Like normally it's just like normal dizziness. It feels like it happened the other day and oh my God, I'm still doing it. It feels like you can almost feel like the earth rotating. Jesus Christ, hold on. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Okay, we got the Master, Sorrow, the Outsider. I guess we're reading this one after. This is really interesting. I'm going to show you what they just showed me with the cards. Okay, so you got the Master who's outside. We got the full moon and the trees. You got the Sorrow card where he's sad. He's got the door open to the outside. He just doesn't see it. And you got the Outsider who thinks that he's like caged in because there's a gate here, but the lock is really unlocked. It's not locked. And we got this one and the Ripeness card in the September like monthly reading. It's really interesting because it kind of feels like two different energies again. So just take what resonates or whatever, and it might just be you going in and out of both energies or you mirroring with somebody. It feels like this sadness, I lost somebody or I lost something or I'm worried about losing somebody or something. And it's like, but you don't see what's actually about to come for you. Like you might not have actually lost this person or situation. You're just learning some type of lesson. And some of you is to accept things and release the outcome or need or attachment to it. With the Outsider card, for some, it feels like this. Everybody has all of this. And I'm like sitting here like by myself. It feels like this childhood energy of feeling left out. Like just being left out of things that you wanted or that, you know, like you enjoyed. So you might be seeing people kind of having the dreams that you want right now. Like if there's something that you're really wanting to happen for you, you might kind of be seeing other people having it, or it might be something like you're desiring that like you feel like you can't get close to. Both of these energies feel pretty stuck though. They feel like they can't really see clearly. It feels like a lot of blur energy, a lot of void energy, and a lot of illusions in front of your face. And I did do like a reading, just like a short reading on my Instagram, and that was kind of the energy I was getting right before I actually pulled the cards. Was a lot of people are in illusions right now. Like, let me finish this and I'm going to tell you what I mean with illusion stuff. But whatever this is that's going on, it's because it's helping you grow internal strength and is helping you master like a soul lesson to help you move forward on your journey. When I say illusions, okay, what I mean is we all have an internal knowing. We all can kind of feel stuff. We all know stuff. Some people are more in tune with it than others. Some people are more conscious of it than others, okay? But we all know things. It's all real. It's all going to happen, whatever. When we have illusions presented in front of our face, things look one way, even though they're not that way. So it might be, I don't want to be like confusing with this. Everything you see outside of you is not always true. It's your perception of what you think it is usually based on your fears or your experiences. Okay. So it's not always true what you're seeing. It's almost like this tunnel vision where you're not seeing it clearly. They're giving me an analogy, so I'm going to explain this to you. So it's like you get a package, right? Like you order something and you get the package and the tracking number just does not update. And it's been like a week and you're like it hasn't even like left the facility and whatever. And then like the next day it shows up to your house. Like for that whole week you didn't see the tracking number update. So it appeared like it's not shipped and that it's not actually moving towards you. But then it shows up one day. Just because you're not seeing the progress, just because you're not seeing all of that doesn't mean it's not actually closer than you think it is. Like, it definitely feels a lot closer than you think it is, but because of the way everything is outside, you can't see it. And the energy you're feeling, a lot of it is old stuff that you're healing and like past energy that you're clearing. So what you're feeling also isn't aligning with what's actually going on. So say with the package, you might be feeling like anxious or insecure, like, oh, I need it by this certain time, or you had lost packages before, so you're like, maybe they lost it, maybe they're not going to do it, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I contacted customer service, they won't call me back, or they're saying, yeah, we shipped it, but it's not updating. USPS is saying, give it another few days. You know, you see my point? And it's like, it's always going to get there. It's always going to happen, but there's all this other extra shit. So what you do is you just focus on yourself. Why am I getting fucking triggered? What's going on? Why do I need this? Like, if I trust in everything, I know I'll get it in time. It's all going to happen in divine timing, like that type of energy. And it's all going to happen. Like, you'll intuitively know it. Yes, you might go in and out of like the intuition. Like, I know for me, I don't know if other people have been getting it. I know for me, for the most part, I've been in the void energy. When I'm doing readings or, you know, channeling for other people, it's perfectly fine. But when it's for me, no. For me, no. So once in a while, I'll just get random blips of shit that happened in the past and helping me see clearly what it actually was versus what I thought it was. Helping me to understand underlying intentions or why it happened the way it did. But it's usually just like small pieces of the puzzle and I don't have the full picture. It's just like to help me clear stuff and release and understand. I know what's going to happen. I don't know how, when, what it looks like and all that. I just know it's going to happen. I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle because I'm not supposed to. A lot of it is very unknown to me. And the way everything looks externally, it looks like it's just never going to happen. Like nothing looks aligned, but that doesn't mean that it's not, because there's other stuff that goes on behind the scenes. You only see bits and pieces of, you know, what's in front of you. You're not seeing the full picture, and you're being kind of blocked from seeing the full picture because you're needing to work through these energies and heal them. And there is, and I posted this on Instagram and Facebook earlier, there's a big thing where we're surrendering even more than we used to. Like, you might feel like you're going backwards, but you're not actually going backwards. Some of those old characteristics are kind of coming up too, to help you with learning the lessons and deepening like your surrendering and understanding and acceptance, and learning how to not like run away, sabotage and fear, things like that. For some, it feels like this, like running away, sabotaging energy. And the other group feels like this fear of stepping forward. So it feels like the polar opposites, like the mirroring energy, like where one group's going to run away. I don't mean unhealthy, toxic shit. Let me just throw that out there. I mean like divine, you know, divinely guided events, situations, relationships, whatever. Or things that you truly desire, okay? Nothing toxic, none of that bullshit. I don't mean that crap. One group is like, they know they want it, but it's not really showing up, and they're getting impatient and they're getting frustrated. Maybe you guys have had visions, or you've had intuition, or people have told you, or whatever it is, but you're not seeing it in the real world. So you're getting frustrated and might want to run away, sabotage, all that stuff. But you've already learned this. Like, we're not doing this again. It might be coming back up in the thoughts, but you're like, no, let me sit with this and figure it out. If you're thinking about running away, sit with it and see what's the underlying emotion or fear or whatever. The other group feels like they're getting clarity and they know what they want, but they have to take a leap of faith and step forward. And it's almost like they're not wanting to. It's almost like this fear, almost like where spirit's gonna have to push their ass to do it. And I think like what it feels like is spirit's trying to help them empower themselves and free themselves to actually make this decision where it's not forced on them like it always has been. Like where they're not feeling backed into a corner, where they're actually empowering themselves and making that choice and standing in their strength. So it feels like two different types of energies. The first group feels like they already do that type of stuff. They're already like, fuck this, I'm going to do this, and empower themselves. And the second group feels like they don't really empower themselves too much. The first group feels like they don't like to be patient. They don't like to wait around. They're like, let's go. And the second group is like, I want to go slow, I'm fucking scared, but then they like almost wait for like things to fall in their lap or for other people to make decisions, because they're like, they just almost like they have to be backed into a corner to make a choice. You're balancing this out. Whatever group you're in, you're balancing it out. Okay, we got schizophrenia, ripeness, abundance. I don't know why. I'm going to show you this. I'm such a perv. I don't know why I see him like with his like hand just like pointing to his crotch. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. There is definitely a lot of sacral chakra shit coming up. Maybe that's why they're showing me that, so I talk to you guys about that. There's a lot of sacral chakra shit coming up. So a lot around sexual trauma, sexual like proclivities, belief systems, perceptions, things like that. A lot of the conditioning that we've learned in you know, the external stuff, rather than actually in like being in tune with our bodies and being in tune with different things. Like we're kind of also seeing where some of that stemmed from, and a lot of that also feels like where we gave up our power. So the way you're perceiving, you know, things that you used to find attractive or things like that, you might actually be seeing like the shame and guilt energy behind it, and like how you're keep trying to like feed that addictive cycle of shame or guilt or unworthiness or not enoughness, and kind of trying to chase it and stuff like that. There's definitely some of that type of stuff coming up, sexual trauma stuff to help you understand, to help you release, things like that. Okay, with the schizophrenia, ripeness, and abundance, I just keep seeing this big yellow full moon, which is in 2 days, I think. Which I did say September 9th was going to be a big day. September 23rd was going to be a big day too. But September 9th, definitely. I was getting 919 too, but not as big. That feels like something small, like not something like major. And I didn't realize that September 9th is actually, I think when the full moon starts, and I think something goes retrograde. So I don't know. I've been getting September 9th for a while. There's another date I keep getting to, but that's like a personal one. So interesting. I do think there's going to be a huge shift with the full moon. I think a lot of us, especially the sensitive ones, we're already feeling the fucking energy. We've been kind of feeling it, which is okay. It's good. It's helping you release and clear so you can actually get what you want. And I just keep getting like, some of you guys are way closer than you think to like getting what you want. Like, it is what it is. With the schizophrenia card, for some of you guys, it feels like you're starting to get a higher perspective on things, like where you used to kind of live in like fear. It almost feels like you're going to learn how to lead with your heart, but you need to balance making that choice with stability too. So like not just taking like half-ass things that you want and making them fit, like really actually not settling, like really actually making choices that are wholeheartedly good for you, safe for you, stable and secure, and what your heart wants to, okay? When you do that, it's actually going to bring you that abundance. And I don't know, remember I kept on saying, if you watch the September reading, I kept on saying the apples, like I just keep getting this like symbol of apples. Like they said fall, and then I kept on getting like apples. And I forgot that we had actually pulled this card in the very beginning, the ripeness, which is a fucking apple tree. I don't understand the significance. It might be for one or two people. It could be for more than that. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, they'll have me say specific words or symbols for certain people. A lot of times people will tell me afterward, like they'll message me, or like they'll come in the shop and they'll be like, oh my God, that was for me. Like this happened with this, and I knew it was for me, and I was questioning it. And then you said the same thing or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, at least now I understand. I don't always understand it, but I say it if I need to say it. So, with this abundance card, yeah, it's just like this thriving energy. It's just like, the energy I get from this is just like things chilling out, like things just being at peace, chilling out, like balancing. It feels like a lot of fun. It reminds me, the energy I'm getting from it today, this is not normally the energy I get. The energy I'm getting from it today is almost like this just hippie stoner energy. Like I'm just chill, like I'm getting information, man, I'm just going with the flow, like I'm enjoying life, like things good, you know, and they're like fun and they're chill, they have understanding, they're like, yeah, just like enjoying life. That's what it just feels like. I know that's weird. It's definitely never I've gotten that energy from that card before, but that's what it feels like. So there are times that like the energy actually just feels like that, where I'm like, man, I'm like, I didn't fucking do anything. I didn't drink, smoke. I don't really do anything, but like, and I'll just feel like I'm high and I'm like, thank you guys. Like once in a while, like I'll just randomly get like this energy where I feel high or something. I'm like, thank you guys. I'm like, this actually feels good. I'm like, I'm not doing shit. I'm just going to fucking relax and like enjoy this energy. This perspective card just came out and it is like screaming at me right now. I'm going to tell you in a minute, but it is like literally screaming. Okay. It is 12:21. So this might be a mirrored energy. We got 7 of Gabriel. Stand up for what you believe in, claim your personal power, have confidence. A lot of you guys are about to step forward into that energy. Like that is kind of what you're working towards, and everything that's blocking it is what Spirit's saying. So with the 8 of Gabriel and the 3 of Michael, I just keep seeing this dove in both of the cards. The more you kind of sit in stillness, the more messages are going to come in for you. You have to open yourself to receive them, but be patient with waiting for them. Like I asked them actually for a sign yesterday. And then I said something to them today about it. I was like, guess you guys aren't giving me that sign. And then I just got the sign literally in the reading now. That's why I was like quiet for a second, because I was like, oh, whatever. It wasn't the dove, by the way. It was not the dove, but I keep seeing the dove. To me, doves symbolize like love, purity, like peace, like angels, stuff like that. I keep seeing that. That had nothing to do with the sign that I got at all. I didn't ask for a dove or anything like that, but I've never even seen it in this card ever, and I've had this card for a few years, but okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm trying not to like laugh. I keep getting all these weird ass energies, like you can tell like my energy is all over the place today. With this 3 of Michael, it feels like this releasing of the past. It feels like a lot of you guys have like, I don't know, somebody supportive, or you can reach out to somebody who's supportive to help you if you're needing it. And Spirit's saying like for the people who actually need the support, ask for it. Like you're not burdening people, ask for support, or go to therapy, or, you know, go like get a spiritual reading or something like that. And like, good support, good healthy support. It just feels like, honestly, the feminine is really sad. It feels like she's just like grieving so much. She's having like such a hard time and just grieving so much, and like just, I don't know, like just not feeling very strong, feeling very vulnerable. I will say I have been feeling like this too. I definitely go in and out of it, but I have definitely been feeling like this the last like 2 or 3 days. It's been pretty intense, honestly. Like as some of the trauma stuff comes up, I'm like the type of person where I'm like, no, I'm going to deal with this. Like it comes up unless I'm out somewhere, but usually that doesn't happen. Most of the time, usually I'm by myself. Once in a while, they'll do it when people are in the shop and I'm like, fuck. But it's because I'm supposed to sit and not process. They want me to sit in the energy and not process it. But most of the time, like, if I'm not, it's not like a public place or something like that, like I will, like if I'm at home or something, I will definitely like 100% process it. And I know sometimes like within the last week, I'm like, this is too much. Like this is actually too much for me to handle. Like where I'm like, you guys need to give me some like fucking like time. Like I can't keep getting hit with these energies and collective energies and other people's shit and my own trauma and the energy of it. Like it's too much and it's overwhelming. If you're in that, like just ask them to help you. Like just say like, I need some space, guys. Like, and what I'll do is I'll usually process as much as I can until I'm really overwhelmed. And then I'm like, I need some fucking space. And I'll like watch TV or I'll do something that just kind of like calms my mind and like helps me a little bit disconnect and stuff like that. You're not going to always feel like this. Like a lot of what's going on that Spirit's saying that's going on with it. And it doesn't mean just the feminines. It could just be feminine wounds and a lot of like trauma, sexual trauma, stuff like that. Hold on. Somebody needs this. Hold on. Because they're like really strong about it. Like it feels like for like a specific person. If you have sexual trauma, and it's not something you've processed or worked through, I would suggest going to like a therapist or somebody that can help support you and hear you. Like spirit's just wanting me to say that for whoever needs that, okay? Even if you have processed it and you're struggling with it really bad, talk to somebody that can help you. Like that actually can listen to you and hear you and help you. The reason why all, oh, Jesus Christ. The reason why all these energies feel super intense and overwhelming is because you're actually experiencing the old energy that happened at that time that you've kind of shoved down, that you weren't able to release or process at that time because you were in a different type of energy and you weren't able to, like whatever reason that was, whether you were younger or even if you're an adult, you just had so much going on, or you maybe just didn't deal with your shit at that time, whatever it is. Some of it is like the more recent past, like within the last year. Some of it's old childhood shit, you know, teenage years, young adult. It's kind of a mix, to be honest. So they're having me put this kind of to the side. We got perspective and the world, which is funny because they're mirroring cards. The numbers mirror. They're both major arcana, which means major life event. With this perspective change, this is like releasing, releasing conditioning and seeing something from a different perspective than you've always seen it from. When things are coming up for you, question them. Like question the validity of the information that's coming up, even when you're seeing stuff online. The reason I say that, I always tell people to go into the energy and the emotions and understand it. Do it in your own way that works for you. But like for example, when you're about to like walk away from something or run away from something or whatever, and there's emotion or fear there, take a second to ask what it is. See, am I actually walking away because this is not good for me? This is unhealthy. I'm unhappy, you know, things like that. Like this doesn't align with me or my values. I mean, those are usually pretty obvious, but they're not always that obvious. Everybody outside can see it, but most of the time when you're in it, you can't see it until you're supposed to. But it's more so like seeing like, is it because of what I was conditioned to believe or what I was told? And if you start hearing thoughts and things that you've learned growing up, question them. Ask like if they're true and they're valid, not your feelings, the perception and belief systems, because there's so much shit even on social media where it's like, if this happens or this person says this or this person doesn't do this, then it means this. That is such black and white tunnel thinking and not accurate at all. And maybe it is sometimes, but not always. And we have this very like rigid way of thinking collectively where it's like, this means this. And we in ourselves will kind of go into that and we'll internalize that and we'll like attach to it because of our fears and our insecurities. So we're trying to keep ourselves safe and protect ourselves. But a lot of times it's bullshit. And it actually pulls walls up and blocks us from what we actually want. So that's what I mean when I say the perspective shift. With the World card, a very happy ending coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight, things shifting, things ending. It feels like a lot of you are in a major cycle of changing your perspective, seeing things from a different way. Areas where you used to get really triggered or things would really bother you and you're like, I'm done, whatever it is, whatever your emotion, feeling, response normally would be. You're starting to see things from a different perspective and you're starting to also see like why certain things are bothering you. You're starting to see that your perspective is very limited based on your trauma, based on your own experiences. And as you are changing this perspective, it's allowing you to open yourself up. And as you're opening yourself up and you're healing and you're getting into your power and your worthiness and all the shit that you want, it's bringing you full circle to close this cycle and have like a new beginning and something good coming for you. With the Knight of Gabriel, they have me do those together. With the Knight of Gabriel, I literally can't talk anymore. Instinctively knowing just what to do. They just want me to read that part on the bottom, okay? you guys know what's good for you. You know what's best for you. You don't need outside validation to constantly give it to you. You don't need all this extra shit to constantly give it to you. Stand in your power. What is it I want? What do I know that's good for me? What is being guided to me and things like that? Trust it. Like, you guys know what to do. It definitely feels like some type of decision or something soon that's coming up where it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel like an either or situation. It just feels like a decision to walk into a new situation or a new opportunity or something like that. And you kind of deciding, like, am I doing this or am I not? You guys know you are. Like, you know you're going to, because it's something you actually want and it's something you've been working toward, and that's just taken fucking forever. So anyway, I hope that this reading helps, and I hope you guys all have an awesome night.